G'day, this is a roof pump out of a 2007 VW EOS. So this is a spare pump I've got, oil reservoir, electric motor, 12 volt electric motor on that side, and then you've got your hydraulic manifold here that all your hydraulic lines come off each side, and then over on this side you've got your 3 solenoid valves. Now this one is second-hand motor that I got. I had a problem with my my roof of my EOS, and it stopped working part way through opening the roof one day, and it turned out it was the failure of the electric motor here. So this video is about taking the electric motor off the manifold here and taking the motor apart, so you can service it and perhaps try and get it back to life. And I was lucky in the one that I had that I was able to bring my electric motor back to life and clean it up. And mostly the damage in these roof pumps is caused through water egress, and water tends to get into the boot in the EOS there, and where the roof pump sits, it's a low point in the boot and all the water comes in, and the electric motor is not sealed, so it takes up the water over time and corrodes inside the motor. Right, let's get to it. So what do we got here? We've got a T25 Torx. So there's 2 screws, one there and one there, so that holds the motor to the housing. So what we're going to do is just remove those quickly. Now you can do this probably inside the car, and that's the beauty of it. You're going to have probably a little bit of oil leak out, but just stick a rag under it and prop it up a little bit so the oil doesn't come out. But be prepared, you've got to top up that reservoir when you're finished. So just 2 screws there, and just really simply the pump just pulls apart from the manifold there. You can see there's an O-ring here. There's a keyway here with a key on it, and that sits in and drives the pump inside here. Really simple. So now we've got our electric motor apart, I'll take the key out and put that nicely safely down there. We've got a 7mm spanner here, and it's just these 2 bolts on the end here. And depending on how corroded your motor is, I'm going to pop some photos in this video as well of the condition of my pump and my motor when I took it apart, and some of them get quite corroded, but you can see this one here, it's beautiful condition. It really is. And quite simply, once you've got those bolts apart, the casing around the outside will just pull off. It may be corroded quite bad around here, so you may need to just wiggle it a little bit to get it loose. And then just gently pull it apart. So it's just a matter of applying force either way and pulling it apart. The windings inside the motor and the magnets in the casing sort of pull against you, so the force that you're pulling apart is just purely magnetic. So you've just got to overcome that and just pull it apart gently like that. And you can see inside there, that's nice and clean. It's a beautiful condition motor. Magnets are in good condition, and there's no corrosion in there. And again, I'll put some photos up of the motor that I had all the issues with. And really, I'm certainly no expert, but I would, all I did with my motor is sprayed it with CRC in here and gently blew it out with the compressor, and did what I could to sort of try and to save it. And I was lucky enough that when I put it back together again, it actually kicked back into life, and it's still going really well today. So, but as I say, this one's a nice and clean one. You've got to be careful with these 2 wires here. There's a couple of earth wires there that come off the circuit board. There's one there, and there's one around this side here. So you sort of got to be fairly careful with those. And what I found with the motor that I pulled apart was this screw here the circuit board had actually lost there, so I actually soldered this one back on, which may have been the failure in my motor as well, which didn't sort of help. But really simple to take apart. And again, if you can clean it up the best you can. It's as simple as that, really.